All right, yo, what's going on, guys? Today I have kind of this like interesting video idea. You've probably seen a million other people do it, but I'm gonna be playing some old challenge links. I kind of dug up from a few years ago. I think some of these are like 2022, some might be from 2023. I don't know, but it was when I was very new to the game, kind of like first starting out. So I would say I was an amateur. I don't know. It wasn't just starting out, but I was fairly interested. I think I was fairly well along. But yeah, so I have 7 seats. So this first one, Diverse World. I haven't seen this map in so long, but I remember the locations were a lot easier. So 1 minute NMPZ, not NMPZ, just no move. Surely you just go South Africa here. This looks more Australian than anything though, for some odd reason. But we wouldn't have white car. This seems like one of those you just click like Pretoria, or like just outside of Pretoria, because there's not a whole lot of white car in South Africa anymore. A lot of it got overwritten by new Gen 4. Like these like trees lining the road feel very Australian, but this is just kind of one of those metagame type things. But yeah, just gonna send like Pretoria. Okay. A little bit more southwest, but no biggie. Looks like we're actually in Australia this time. I think I remember this location for some reason. I feel like it's a fairly recognizable city name. What does that say? I don't know. I think it starts with a C though. But I feel like we're along the coast here. So let's see if we can maybe, I feel like we'd be kind of more south here, like along here. I wish I could make out that highway name, but yeah, I don't mind something outside of Sydney around here. Maybe it's Campbelltown that I saw on that sign, but oh, okay, more north, a lot more north, really. Wow, okay. Let's go ahead and round 3. Look, it's gonna be France with that blue sticker. Baller. This is so French, it's not even funny. But let's see if I can narrow it down. I forget what these are called, but that almost looks like a tree farm type thing. It makes me think more, and like the fruit trees kind of make me think more like southwest. I think this architecture probably stands out too. I think it could even be more central southern, but I like this guess right here. Like I said, I feel like this architecture stands out, but I can't really remember where. So okay, yeah, a little bit more north, a fair bit more north, more so, but not too worried about it. Looks like this one should just be UK. Surely. This is probably new coverage too. This coverage was probably very different back in, this might have even been Gen 2, if not Gen 3, when I played it and when this challenge link was sent out 3 years ago. But I don't know, these barren hills seem a lot more like the UK. As far as where, I might go, I don't mind something like central northern. I really don't. Might even go into Scotland up here. I don't mind something like this. It seems like a fairly big stream, more like, but okay. Was a lot more north, really. I want to look at this. I want to see if there was older coverage. September. Okay, wow. This road is fairly, they keep it fairly up to date with coverage. But this is Brazil with that kind of sign up there, that road marker. This is 2025. I don't know copyright very well in Brazil, but it seems fairly hilly. I would just go around Rio, Sao Paulo maybe, but that's about the best guess I have. Okay. Was it Parna? It is Parna, but so let's see here. Well, even so, I scored even today I scored better than like Banana Man, obviously. is a very good player, just behind JHK. Vehicle Ronald, like all of these, not all of these people, but you know, like I scored higher than Blinky. You know, a lot of these people, I mean, get granted they probably weren't trying, but Devons, you know, all these people that are fairly established, not, I don't even know if established is the right word, but you know, you kind of recognize them as good players. Even now, I beat them with a fairly rudimentary knowledge of the game. I'm but easily not a great player, but you know, is what it is. But I guess I didn't play this on my main account, so this one, no time limit. Interesting. No time. It should just be Botswana here. No time limit, no move. With how white it is, surely you just go like Mound. This is so white. I mean, it could be really anywhere like Mound, even a little bit more east, maybe anywhere around here too. I know the sand gets really white, but I'll just send Mound because it's kind of like default guess here, surely. Yeah, so more southwest for sure. Let's see. Should just be Taiwan here. No low cam. Very, very tropical. I don't mind going somewhere more southern here. Kind of makes more sense to me. That's more of a vibe guess, but I don't know. I actually don't know if I like that, but I could see it being more up here. This probably makes a little bit more sense, but I'll just go ahead and send. I don't want to spend too much time, especially since there's no time limit. I feel like I'm going to take so long without even trying, so yeah, it was even more north than that, so thankfully I didn't go very far south. Let's see. Looks like obviously Bangladesh. I feel like there's a town name up here somewhere for sure in Latin script, but should, I mean, this is one of those I just kind of send to Ka and hope for the best. I mean, Talimul, if that's even if that could ever be a city name, I doubt it. But yeah, just send to Ka and hope for the best. Yeah, it was more west. I don't think that was. I don't think there was a town name visible, but still 14-4, not bad pace. This should just be Malaysia, not mainland, I assume. This kind of feels like this kind of feels like Borneo. Now where are we thinking? Bintulu, Cebu, or Kuching here? Because I feel like if it was all the way north, we would have a Sabah pole top. I don't see that. Looks like we have like a high rise to our west. There is the chance this is just, you know, downtown KL, but I feel like we'd have black sticker on the pole, surely. So I think I don't mind something more on the outskirts, like the residential of Kuching. If I'm looking west at skyscrapers and urban development, it's not even skyscrapers, but urban development, I don't mind this. So yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and send down here. Okay, was Bintulu, but not the end of the world. It's almost reddish soil. It kind of reminds me of PEI, but surely you're not PEI here. This seems more like Newfie than anything. Could be Nova Scotia. I don't mind Nova Scotia here either, but I think Nova Scotia more commonly does double yellows. So obviously Canada, because the maximum sign, single yellow is very common. I just go Newfie. I mean, it could be Nova Scotia, it could be PEI, but I can't match a landscape with something I've seen, so I'm just gonna send. Yeah, it was more northeast, but not a bad game, really. Definitely not a bad game. Could have had a better Indonesia, but that's about the best I could hope for. Looks like I did play this one, but 19-4 is what I scored, and I'm over here. Max, okay, yeah, I'm over here max east of Botswana. Over here, it's definitely a lot more. It's definitely not as white of a sand. Like if you look at this, if you look over here, this is obviously a lot more red, a lot more orange, and just a lot more I don't want to say agriculture, but you can just kind of see more trees and everything, and it's even a little bit more hilly sometimes. You can kind of see some hills in the distance, but obviously that's not at all what we see. I think it was over here somewhere. That's obviously not at all what you see. This is very, very, very distinct, even in Botswana, which is kind of a hard country to tell apart. But yeah, let's see. Round 2 was okay. Yeah, I went very similar, very, very, very similar. Not much has changed there. Same here with Bangladesh. It's kind of just one of those rounds you just send Dhaka. But looks like I'm in Johor here. It's really, really odd. Why would I go? Whatever. It's just kind of odd. But Bintulu makes actually a lot of sense. I feel like it might be more urban if I was in Kuching. Like I would see a lot taller buildings. A lot more of them, I should say. But Bintulu definitely makes sense there. So, and then round 5, I went New Brunswick. I went on a road. Oh, I didn't go on a road. Maybe I tried to go on a road, but I don't think that's a bad guess. I mean, my Canada's never really been a strong suit of mine, but this is definitely where I picked up points. So, on that in the Botswana. So, but yeah, obviously I think I'm a fair bit better now than I was. Let's jump into this arbitrary world, 20 seconds, and MPZ. Let's see how we go. Water East in Italy? My first thought is over here. It could be Sardinia. Sardinia would be kind of weird here, but I could see it. Yeah. I could have sworn that was water. I really thought that was water. Guess that's just a peak, is it? No, I think that's water. I thought it was more east than northeast, than like northeast, but let's see. Well, obviously Bangkok. We just have a city name, and I'm zooming into Singapore. Good God. Develop, but not skyscrapers, so I'll just go a little bit more north. Go. Okay. Not too bad. Somebody's in Jakarta. I think this is another one of those proceeds. Maybe not pro, but one that was not in a YouTube video. So probably a little bit more. A little bit more going on. It seems just like Serbia, a little bit more hilly. I might go a little bit more south, but yeah, right around there. Looks like I'm actually doing pretty good on this seed so far. 12-2-6-9. So I'm kind of like right in the middle of this pack. These are all kind of very good players from what I remember back in the day. Should just be Ghana here. I don't know. I'm just in Kumasi, really. In MPZ, I'm kind of clueless, but I just kind of click Kumasi. Maybe a little bit more north, but okay, it was just Accra. That's kind of unfortunate. Wow, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Looks like Russia here, blurred short antenna. I'm not very well acquainted with it, sadly. Seems more south though. These trees kind of just give me that vibe. I kind of want to go even more south. Yeah, it was max south there. That's really interesting. That makes sense though. In hindsight, I just didn't want to commit there, to be completely honest. If I can see this lock and I can look west and see mountains, then yeah, I feel like I would go fairly southern. Do we have fruit trees? Those aren't fruit trees, are they? I don't think so. But yeah, there's a world where I send that. But let's see what I did on my... looks like I actually placed third among whoever played this seed. Only 48 people. Some of these people you might recognize. Trabota, Scripero, Save the Snail. He was an old gen player. He's my goat. Dennis, Amen, left hook. That's all I remember, to be completely honest with you. I wasn't that well acquainted in the community back then, but I'm still not, but looks like I scored a 15-3 though. I went about the same on Russia. I didn't even get the Ghana. I went Guatemala. I did not get the Serbia. I went Austria. I think I saw those bollards and I was like, that's actually really weird. I didn't know Serbia did those bollards, but yeah, they did. Got closer on the Bangkok. That's rough, but I guess I'm in Italy here. I'm actually surprised I got this. That's actually very impressive for me. But yeah, this round kind of just threw me for a whirl. Even this time, it didn't seem. I mean, I don't know. This is definitely gettable in hindsight. These kind of rocks seem very common over in Sardinia, from what I can remember. But it's one of those risky ones. It's like I don't know if I want to send it because there's so much more of it. There's a much higher chance that I will score higher if I go on mainland Italy. Now this one isn't. We're done with the pro ones now. These are kind of just the ones that I sent to some of my friends. ACW, 30 seconds, no move. I think there's 3 games like this. So let's see what we got. Let's see. Looks like Mexico off the bat. Yeah, Mexico with these sparse hills. This seems like something that you just get. I would probably just go SLP or Guanajuato here. Ignore my very American pronunciation. I might go a little bit more north even, but Aguas Calientes maybe. But okay, and was Sinaloa. It's one of those I kind of wanted to send, but I'm not really gonna go there. Really interesting guess. Very interesting guess. I'll touch on that after. Should just be Sweden. Seems like very built up, so I'm definitely kind of around Stockholm. Yeah, I didn't know there were this many bridges in Stockholm. I didn't know this. This seems like a relatively small bridge, like looking at it on the map, but it seems a lot bigger, in the actual location. Really, I'm just gonna address all those at the end because oh my god, that is rough. Another one in Mexico here. Don't really know why I'm checking copyright. I don't know anything about copyright in Mexico, but it seems more like down here. I kind of want to go Oaxaca. I don't know. This is more of a vibe thing. Could be. I don't know. This one's kind of weird. I'm just vibing Oaxaca. Yeah, it was Oaxaca. More east though. And I'm up here in God knows. New Zealand, pretty standard. See if we can find maybe a town name somewhere. Looks like we got some rolling hills. Yeah, it seems like more North Island, I think. Yeah, it was actually South Island near Nelson. Interesting. Should just be U.S. Virgin Islands. I think this is is this South Island? I think Red Car is actually very distinct to one of these islands. Imagine if it's just like Bermuda and I'm just misremembering. Do not blame me because I'm so far out of practice. It's not even funny. But yeah, just go USVI here. And yeah, it was South Island. Looks like I did get U.S. Virgin Islands on that last one. Yeah, so this first one, I already kind of explained this. There's not this is a very mountainous, a lot more green than what it was up here. This is just it wouldn't be this dry. So not really sure what I'm doing down there, but Stockholm obviously a lot more urban than where I guessed. I don't really know what I'm doing in the northern half of Sweden there. And yeah, kind of like the opposite here. It's so much greener down here, but it's so much drier up there in Mexico. Really, I'm in Germany on New Zealand. That's just might be a new low. Genuinely, that is rough. And then I did get the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is actually kind of shocking, kind of, but it's one of those car meta things. So looks like I have another no move 30-second ACW. Let's see what we got going on. So Senegal. There's probably a town name up there, but probably findable if I have a little bit more time. But default guess is just kind of like western here. Surely. Okay, it was actually very north there. St. Louis. Richard Toll. Huh. Okay. Interesting. My timer just went off. That's my laundry timer. I digress. This is Russia here. And for winter coverage, usually I just hedge between Saratov and Voronezh, but could be more south. Could be more south, but it was more south. Even old me knew that. Okay. Let's see. Philippines, concrete road. With how many palms we have, I'm really bad at region guessing Philippines, so but I really like with how many palms we have the South Island here. I really do. Looks like we even have water, like southwest. So it could be something over here, maybe. Yeah, it was very, very south on Davao, but yeah, I'm up here on I'm up here and near Manila almost. That's crazy. It's like we're in Indonesia, back in Southeast Asia. That looks like a North Sumatra pole, kinda. If I had more palms, I would go Sulawesi, but I actually really like, for some reason, West Sumatra. I usually don't get a strong vibe for this kind of area, but yeah, it just kind of felt that felt very like Sumatra. And I did actually go Sulawesi when I first played it, but looks like we should just be in Bulgaria here. Can't see any mountains. We might be in some hills right here though. We're kind of near mountains though, because I feel like usually if you're in a flat place in Bulgaria, you kind of see a lot more. There's not as many trees. So I'm just kind of gonna go, kind of looks right, but was more west, kind of around Sofia. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of impressed by old me there. To be completely honest with you, I got the Russia around, where Gen 4 is coming. Me nowadays should probably go more south there, but I'm not too worried about it. Not really sure what I'm doing down here in Senegal, but it is what it is. And yeah, I did end up going Sulawesi, but we didn't really have any of the tells I like to use for Sulawesi. Now me, even now it's a hard country or region guess for me. It's a hard country or region guess for anybody in general, but I don't even hate this guess really. But yeah, so I outscored myself by about 4,000 points, so that's not anything too crazy. Looks like I got another ACW no move 30 seconds. I think this might be the last one of these, but back in Brazil, so I mean we have, I don't know, I feel like this is not Sao Paulo. We have Sao Paulo on the sign, but I don't know if I want to send it. This feels more north than anything. It was just Minas Gerais, but really interesting there. Looks like Iceland, some old Iceland. I haven't seen old Iceland in a minute because it just got, I don't want to say just, but it got covered with some Gen 4. So obviously you don't see as much of this Gen 3 anymore, but I guess this one didn't get covered with this new Gen 4. So looks like we're in a fjord valley type thing. So there's water north. Could be up here. It's kind of just hope. Oh wow. I actually got that the first time that's crazy. Oh, Iceland Demon. Back in Lesotho here. European Union, send a cow. I kind of like over here. Could just be up in Maseru, but I don't mind something over here, like northwestern corner. Kind of actually makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, it was. I'm really impressing myself with where I went on the seed the first time. It's kind of insane. Let's see here. Rio Grande Norte, Santa Cruz. Is it coastal? It's kind of more inland. Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz. Oh wow, that was a lot more visible than I thought. Yo, I actually might lose to my old score. I'm surprised I found that. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot more visible. It's very scannable. If I have more time, I definitely think I could do that. If I was half as knowledgeable as I was about Japanese plates even a month ago, I think this would be very gettable. I don't mind. This is gonna definitely be more of a vibe guess. I don't mind something like this, kind of southwest of Osaka. Sorry, northwest of Osaka. Could be anywhere else, really. Wow, it was more north. This is one of those I actually lost. That's insane. Yo, my old self was cracked. I got the. Hold on, let me see here. I outscored myself this time. Let's go around on the first Brazil. Demon, Iceland Demon, around the same guess in Lesotho. Obviously, I 5K'd the Brazil round with the info, and then I went more north on this Japan. And I mean that's just really interesting guess by me. Not going in mountains, but Wow, outscored by like 900 points, almost 1,000 points. That's crazy. I gotta brush up, dude. I was cracked. All right, this last one, 1 minute, no move on ACW. Let's see if I can close out somewhat strong, maybe. Is there ever water north here? This is obviously Philippines. I feel like we're near some water, maybe south. I doubt it's north. So we've got some mountains east. Mountains east here is kind of interesting, but is this ever, what kind of roading are we working with? So maybe something like this, maybe? I don't know. I don't want to scan too hard for this, but I don't mind something like that. Really could be anywhere, like I said. I'm not the greatest at the Philippines, even now. Yeah, it was more north. There was no water. I was willing that water into existence. There's just no such thing. Jordan, obviously. Well, definitely not the A15. Definitely not the 15. Obviously, divided highway. The real question is, how far do I want to go from Amman? I don't mind. This is kind of hilly, kind of not. I'm kind of just gonna hedge, like central, southern, kind of. Just with how rural it seems. Seems like we've got some hills west. Seems like we've got some hills west. It's kind of like this rolling landscape. I don't mind something over here. Could even be more north up here, but yeah, it was a little bit more south of where I guess. So it's like Kenya. Any info here? Looks like that's a town named Waitaka. Seems my default guess is more west over here. See if I can maybe scan for a town name real quick. Assuming Waitaka, however you pronounce it, is actually a town name, but I don't know. I kind of doubt it. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. Yeah, I think This is kind of like my default guess. Around here, maybe. Kind of a hedge, because it could be north or south Kisumu. And it's just Nairobi. Really? Waitaka is very, very small. No, I don't know if I'm ever finding that. But, yeah, I am outscoring. I am outscoring myself. This time, oh, sorry. I'm not outscoring myself this time around again. I was a demon. But sending Nairobi there is kind of interesting, but hey, if it's right, it's right. So, let's see here. Is this ever Argentina? This might be a crazy shout. Is this? No, surely not. Sure, this is Brazil. Or Mexico. Okay. Brazil, Mexico, 50-50. I feel like this roof is very Brazil, though. These fences feel very Brazil. It kind of makes me want to go northeast. I don't mind, like, even a Bahia, maybe? Could be Piauí. This is very green. This is very, very, very green. Which usually you get a little bit more drier in the northeast. Do I ever want to go, like, south? More south? I don't think so. I'm really kind of nervous here. That's really... Wow. That is Mexico. That roof really threw me off. Oh, wait. That's a short plate. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, no, that checks out. Short plates, yeah. I should know that. I should know that at my ripe old age. That you wouldn't get a short plate in Brazil. Let me see what this building actually is. That's kind of interesting. It's a very interesting style of architecture for Mexico, but oh my gosh, I should definitely be getting that. Wow, that's a shame. It looks like just in Ecuador here. A rather free round, I think. My former self probably got this, but as far as where, not really too mountainous. We are at a fairly high elevation, but not as steep as I would assume for something down here or in the central corridor. So just somewhere over here, probably, maybe, ever. Okay, yeah, and looks like I did beat my old self, thankfully. I don't know how I don't get the Ecuador there. I'm in Indonesia. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Moral of the story is just send Nairobi. If you don't know where it is, just send Nairobi. It's the play. And then don't go for something crazy on Philippines when you know you're bad at the country. But yeah, good Jordan guess though. Can't really complain about that. But yeah.